Now it's time to take a look at stories making the headlines in Nigerian newspapers. Joining me via Skype from Lagos is Sheson Kwade, a chartered accountant and public affairs analyst. Thank you very much for joining us at this point, Sheson.
Good morning, Theophilus. Thank God it's Friday and it's
Thank God
pleasure
it's
to be here.
Friday. Yeah. All right, so let's look at the stories in major newspapers this morning. And the News Direct is saying clash of interest, SARS protests divide governors. That's what the News Direct is saying. The writer says, as NEC orders governors to control police tactical units, direct special fund for victims of police brutality to investigate police brutality against protesters. That's in the News Direct this morning. The Daily Trust is saying National Economic Council probes police brutality. The writers here say governors worried over SARS ban. Army warns troublemakers, police decry use of force. SARS protesters defy ban in FCT. Northern youths attacked Kano, throng streets in Kaduna and Gombe. The Nation newspaper says creation of SWAT hasty, governors tell IG Adamu. National economy is saying here, CBN lifts CTG sector with 120 billion naira investments in 4 years, cutting importation to 0%. The blueprint says SARS protest, NEC waits in, orders judicial probe into police brutality. And of course, we will stay with the story in the News Direct newspaper, clash of interests, SARS protests divide governors. The writer says as NEC orders governors to control police tactical units, direct special funds for victims of police brutality to investigate police brutality against protesters. Now, Sheson, in all of this now, the state governors will be in charge, will take charge of the Special Weapons and Tactics team, that SWAT team. What's your take? A lot of people believe that some governors might use it to their advantage for political enemies, or some believe that it might not be used to the advantage, to the good use that it is needed for. What do you think?
Thank you very much, Theophilus. First and foremost, when we set up this kind of organization, we must understand the mission and the reason for their establishment. They call them the special weapon and tactical. You say you don't bring in this kind of people. If you see where we are copying it from, because I have a challenge with it, that we are not too creative in this part of the world, but we like copying. But if you have to go that route, if you look at SWAT in America, where we are copying from, these are people that don't just come out. They are tactical reason that they will only show their face when the regular police are overwhelmed. And the reason why they are coming out at that point is that in time is that they have special tactics to address the issue, understanding what has happened, and to approach it in a more tactical form. So, going by this route, we discovered that giving the position to the state governor to manage is a huge thing, considering that most of our leaders always politicize things against the wish of the masses. Theophilus, if you understand the plight of every Nigerian in the hands of SARS, there has been serious shouting from the people before now, before this protest started. But most governors and the federal government turned deaf ears. People have actually requested for reforms. You see, it's across the way and manner we respond to things. Nigerian leaders are always reactive to issues and not proactive. And it's again a lot in being reactive to issues rather than being proactive. Because if as at the first time, let's even say when Segaling started this 2017, we have looked critically into what we are just doing now, I think it wouldn't have degenerated to this issue. But our leaders are too reactive to issue rather than being proactive and leaving it in the hands of the governor. I think with this SARS protest, most of the governor would have seen that it's no longer a child's play. People's awareness are coming out, and you are not safe. You've seen instances that even some of the legislators find it difficult to go to their area because people are agitating that there is bad governance, and when things are put in your custody and you are not doing it right, you are not safe. So it's highlight we stop
empty promises and go straight to the business while we were actually elected to oversee activities.
Another issue now is the clash of interest. State governors are, and especially northern governors, are opposed to the idea of scrapping SARS, while the IGP has already scrapped SARS, and so he has been told to go back to the operating table and sort out this whole issue. How should the IG handle this? Some state governors are opposed to the scrapping of SARS, others are in support of the scrapping of SARS.
Yeah, well, my personal view, I always say this, that different stroke from different people. If you look at the ways that SARS has been operating that necessitated this protest, I feel the agitation of the northern governors should be met. Maybe the SWAT can be sent to them with the way and manner SARS were actually working. And how will I say that? Brutality to people. The insecurity we have there, we discover that there are ugly elements that needs to be dealt with brutally in the way that they have actually been affecting the economy. Take, for example, in Maiduguri, where the governor has actually been attacked severally. You can see that the governor is saying, please don't scrap SARS. Rather than them putting all those their energy on innocent people in the southwest or in the southern region, let them come to my area and use that brutality on the so-called bad element.
Boko
So
Haram.
if guys that are ready to brutalize people, let's dissipate their energy to the northern part and let's see how far they can go in dealing with the Boko Haram and with the insurgent that we are faced with there. Maybe the way and manner they harass innocent people, same can be applicable there. So I think the IG can give a listening ear to them, because we discovered that these SARS are actually out. They have the energy, and let them use that energy on the insurgent rather than the innocent people. So I think the IG should sit down, harmonize it. Let's give this to the other people who need it. As far as that standard, we don't need it.
All right, Sheson Kwade, thank you so much for talking to us on this. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here this morning.